Imagine this: 10,000 years ago, on the fertile shores of Lake Turkana, a pregnant woman sat bound and helpless. Obsidian-tipped arrows sliced through the air above her. Her unborn child was about to become part of humanity's oldest recorded massacre. Forget everything Hollywood has ever shown you about prehistoric warfare. There were no sword fights, no glory, no stirring speeches, just calculated brutality, precise violence, and chilling silence. Today, we dive into the archaeological evidence that reveals a hidden chapter of our origins. Were early humans peaceful nomads, or were they capable of organized slaughter? The journey begins not with metal, but with sharpened sticks and ruthless intention. In the caves of Spain, archaeologists uncovered cranium 400,000 years old. 2 blows to the skull. Same object, same angle. Face-to-face execution. It was the oldest known murder. But that was personal. The real question was, when did humans start killing as groups? The answer came in 2012, from a desolate site near Lake Turkana in Kenya. Archaeologists found the remains of 27 people, men, women, children, who had all died violently. This wasn't a burial ground. This was a prehistoric crime scene. Blunt force trauma to the head, crushed cheekbones, broken hands raised in defense, and obsidian projectiles still lodged in bones. Some victims had their hands bound. One was a pregnant woman in her final trimester. Dr. Marta Mirazonlar, who led the excavation, said it best. This was evidence of organized intergroup violence. These weren't spontaneous killings. These were coordinated attacks. And the most unsettling part? These people weren't starving. The lake was rich in fish and vegetation. They were living in abundance. This massacre wasn't about survival. It was about power, strategy, and intent. The attackers brought weapons unsuited for hunting, clubs in multiple sizes, foreign obsidian tips, tactics meant for human targets. This shattered the long-held belief that warfare only began with agriculture. It proved something darker. Even nomadic hunter-gatherers could plan and execute deadly raids. But not everyone agreed. Some scientists argued the damage could have happened after death, natural processes, not murder. But as debate continues, one truth stands unshaken. Early humans had the tools and the will to kill with shocking precision. And here's where the story deepens. While Neanderthals relied on heavy spears for close-range attacks, modern humans developed long-range weapons, bows and arrows. Research from France shows we were using arrows 54,000 years ago. These weren't makeshift tools. They were light, aerodynamic, and tipped with expertly crafted stone points. Some weighed just a few grams, far too small to be used in hand-thrown weapons. These were made for distance, made for stealth, made for war. This technological leap changed everything. While Neanderthals had to get close, risking injury or death, early Homo sapiens could kill from afar. That one advantage might explain why we survived and they didn't. The archaeological record shows Neanderthal bones with frequent skull trauma and defensive wounds on forearms, face-to-face combat. Meanwhile, our ancestors had injuries consistent with ranged attacks. Less risk, more efficiency. Deadlier outcomes. And bows weren't just for hunting. Dr. Laura Metz explains, they're easier to use, more accurate and perfect for ambushes. When used in battle, they offered terrifying control. More kills, less danger. Fast forward to 5500 BCE, Talheim, Germany, a mass grave with 34 bodies, all brutally killed. But something was missing. Local women. Research suggests the attackers didn't just kill, they kidnapped. The motive? Reproduction, not resources. Even then, warfare was driven by complex social goals. In Peru, the story shifts again. At Pacopampa, skeletons were found with healed fractures, evidence of ritualized violence, not war. Proof that not all prehistoric violence was fatal. Some of it had meaning, ceremony, and rules. But violence left more than bones. It shaped landscapes. In Siberia, the oldest known fort was built not by farmers, but by hunter-gatherers 8,000 years ago. Walls, palisades, collective labor, strategy, defense. Proof that even before agriculture, people feared attack and planned for it. In northern Poland, 15 fortified Neolithic settlements have been uncovered. Some span over 20 hectares, miniature cities protected by ditches and wooden barricades. The fear of violence was so strong, communities invested years into building defenses. So what did a real prehistoric battle look like? Forget the movies. No drawn-out duels. No heroes. Real battles were short, chaotic, and terrifying. Ambushes in the night, fire and screams, arrows from the dark. Men, women, and children, all targets. And behind it all, minds capable of crafting complex strategies, deadly tools, and long-term plans. These weren't mindless brutes. These were thinkers, engineers, tacticians, artists of survival. The same people who created projectile weapons also made cave paintings, musical instruments, and burial rituals. Our ancestors were killers, but also creators. The truth is, our capacity for war is as old as our capacity for love. And in the end, it wasn't the most violent societies that endured. It was the most adaptable. The ones who cooperated, innovated, and worked together. Understanding prehistoric violence isn't about glorifying it. It's about knowing where we come from. It's about recognizing that within every human is the potential to destroy and the power to build. The story isn't just about war. It's about choice. And that choice is still ours to make.